So I guess we'll go ahead and pick up Godric right now. It would be better if you left the green stuff behind, though. I think that might create some problems on the road if we ran into any sort of authority types. Okie dokie. So we have him now. I guess we'll take a look at Godric, since I won't be showing him off other than to get him to Araman and then dismiss him when we pick up a different party member. So Godric has a dagger and cloth armor to start with, so he's not very good. 37 hit points. It's like one hit from anything mean. Intelligence of 22, willpower of 18, dexterity of 15, endurance of 15, strength of 10, stamina of 20. So he's actually a pretty decent spellcaster. He has an alchemist of 3, which is fantastic, and I'll get to that later. I may do a little brief spotlight on that after, but basically he can make a lot of things. If I click on this now, look at that. Fire flask, healing potions, curing potions, antidote potions, strength potions, dexterity potions, clarity potions, charisma potions, defense potions, stealth potions, and restore potions. He has a lore master of 2, a mechanic of 2, and he can make beast hide armor for us if we wanted to. He has a wizard of 2, which is decent, a sword of 1, and a throne of 1. And he has a spell called Dragon Flames, which is an elemental spell, and Godric, as we can see up there under his portrait, is a lunar aspected elementalist, so he's our first lunar character. Dragon Flames. The targets of this spell are attacked by wicked dragon flames emanating from a caster. Basically, this is sort of like an AoE spell that creates a wide circle and shoots fireballs at anything that happens to be in the circle. This particular spell does not affect it. There's no friendly fire with it, so there's no risk of using it around your teammates, but certain other elementalist spells do have a friendly fire element. You have to aim them so that they don't snag anybody in the radius. So anyway, that's Godric, and we will continue on. I'll see if I can find anything else for you guys. See you soon. So hey guys, I was just talking to Bowden again, and I left his place after I had done all the conversation that I did last time and came back, and he actually has some more to say. So I'm gonna go through his dialogue and let's see what he has to offer us. What is it, boy? More questions. Why don't I know my true name? Because you're not a sorcerer. Common folk aren't told their names for fear some evil being would wrest their true name from them in troubled times. Knowing someone's true name, a sorcerer can use that name as part of the spell and gain greater power over the poor victim. But if you are a sorcerer, then you do need the name. You use it in your own spells to give them greater power. You'll understand someday. It all takes time, boy. More questions? What's the fourth school? Nothing you need to know. No one believes in it anyway. But this curse Rita's trying to lift, it's not your problem. I mean, don't you have enough troubles of your own? What if I'm wounded on the road? Well, that is a worthy and sagacious question. If you have a draught of healing, you must drink that immediately. Of course, the best remedy is to have a healer with you at all times. Then, if anyone in the group gets hurt, they can be healed right away. If there is no healer in your group, then the next solution is to find a healer in the nearest town. It will cost a pretty penny. Thank you, Master Bowden. I must see to something now. Of course, of course. So he had one more thing to say. And there will be nothing more today, lad, right? And remember what I said about dreams. Pay attention. Someone is trying to tell you something. Yes, sir. So a bit of a funny thing happened, guys. On that file that I had Godric, I collected Godric and then I went and talked to Bowden. After I was done talking to Bowden both times, I went up into the observatory expecting Gina to be there because I had seen her there before. She was not there, which tells me that that she can only be talked to when you have 2 or less party members, I suppose. So that was a bit weird, so I had to restart, and I basically did most of the castle over from scratch, starting with the room in with Rita, and then talking to her, cutting across the hallway, in between the throne room and whatnot on the first level, and then going into that sitting room, and then up, or going into the tower, clearing out the tower, going back over to where Rita was, clearing out that lower tower, into the courtyard, talked to Brenna, went into the forge room, went into Traherne's training room, and the ancillary room, connecting it, talked to Sheridan there, talked to Traherne there, went out, went into the storage room, got everything in the storage room, went back out into the courtyard, went into the barracks with all those chests, couldn't get anything in there because I don't have Brenna yet, went into the southeast tower, first level, talked to anybody in there, went up a level, into the southeast upper level of that tower, talked to everybody there, went back down. Once I was out onto the main level again, I walked up the landing and up to where you go into the wizard's tower, went around there, talked to that lippy guard, went up the stairs further, went into the upper section of Traherne's room, and then I went back down all the way down to where Rita was, went across through the throne room again, and then up the tower in the northwest to the second level of that tower, cleared that out, went into the kitchen, talked to Gabrian, and went through the hall and through the dining room over to this room, and for some reason, as you can see, Sheridan has showed up here, which is weird, because before I did any of that, I actually had to, I restarted again just because I felt like I'd missed something, and I went back down and I did all that shit again, and after talking to Gabrian, this is, so like I forgot what I was doing, went back down, did everything all over again up to that point, went into the kitchen, crossed the hall, crossed the dining room, and in here, and Sheridan is here this time. Now before, when I had gone across to here, when I talked to Gabrian, there was nobody in this sitting room. Sheridan was not here. So I don't know what exactly caused him to spawn between then and now, but he's here. I figure it must have been after I talked to Gabriel, I went back downstairs and did everything down there, and then came up again, and suddenly he was back. But Gabriel is gone right now, but he's back, so maybe I had to talk to Sheridan down there in the training room first, but I'm pretty sure I'd already done that. So let's go ahead and see what Sheridan has to say. So, you're going to Araman. Looks that way. Better go get a group together. Good luck. I mean, not many people are going to want to take this on. Oh, I don't know. Not everyone wants to be stuck in this castle for the rest of their lives. I'm not stuck here. Too bad you can't come along, but then you like staying at home, don't you? Sometimes an adventure is more than you bargained for. I hope so. Okay, that was interesting. Sounded a bit threatening, in fact. See what else he has to say. So you're going to Araman. Looks that way. Who will you train with while I'm gone? I'm not sure. Actually, I may be traveling myself soon, although I plan to avoid anything that looks dangerous. I want nothing to do with goblins or monsters. You think these goblin raids will continue? That's hard to say. I mean, I don't know anything about goblins. In fact, I'm very afraid of them when I go riding. I know you wonder what I do when I ride out of the castle, but I just love to see our people and help them when I can. The people? What aspect are you, Sheridan? Solar, just like you. My mother was Solar, the king is Solar. What else could I turn out to be? I thought you knew that about me. So you're going to Araman. Looks that way. Any more thoughts about my dream? Why are you obsessing about that? Obsessing? I'm not obsessing. I've just been thinking about it a lot. You know, the gods sometimes speak to us in our dreams. They do. They do. Have they spoken to you? Yes, they have. Wow, what did they say? That when I become king, that there will be peace and prosperity for everyone. Did they say anything about me? That they have special plans for you, Alaron. Now you'll be leaving soon, right? Now let's just see if he has anything else to say, I guess, before we leave him to his posturing, which is quite nice. He's got a good pose, fencer's pose. hand on the hip. Hello, Squire. You haven't left yet, I see. What can I do for you now? Well, Sheridan, I was just wondering whether you've ever seen the old woman in Oisin Forest. Why do you ask? I may have seen her a time or two. Well, I was wondering whether you thought she could be trusted. You trust her? Don't make me laugh, Alaron. The way you treat some of the townsfolk sometimes, what would you know about trust? I've been trying to do better. Gabrian has been after me to listen before I spout off. And? Has it helped? No, not all the time. I know that I offend people sometimes. So, see what I mean? If you offend people, they may not trust you. Maybe you should check in on this crone on your way. You might have said something that has offended her. Now, I treat all the subjects with respect, and they trust me implicitly, as well they should. You're right. I'll check in on her on my way. Good idea. Now I've got some things to attend to. Alright, so that's pretty much that, folks. So hey guys, I just came up to the observatory after talking with Bowden there, and I saw that Gina was indeed here this time, so it is in fact when you have 2 or less party members that she shows up. So let's go ahead and talk to her, since we've spent so much time trying to find her in this Let's Play. Ah, there you be. Gina, you're just the person I'm looking for. Maybe you can help me. I need a healer right away. Pup, I cast a spell as soon as I heard your story. Look here. Yes, even I can see the goblin poison still works against you. Still? It seems my chanting did no good. When the goblins hit, they struck you deep. Your case proves hard. A cure will not be quick to find. But Oriana said to see you. Know that even as experienced as I am, some of my skills are limited. He must. Your life is in danger, and they will know best how to help you. Good luck on your journey, pup. What can you tell me about dreams? Dreams, being they are messages. Asking you are about these dreams? I am. I had one that bothers me. So I see. Have you tried being quiet to the dream think about? I'm not very good at keeping quiet, Gina. Yes, we be knowing of this. More diplomatic should you be. Quiet, I am thinking, would help make the message clear. Can you remember it? Well, it took place in the clouds. I saw the goblins there, and I thought it was because of the poison. Goblin poison being not the cause of your dream. In the clouds, you say? Yes, and I saw a woman there. Being it said with my people that the place you saw the gods used to talk. There they play games and tell stories. In this place they entertain those that have a purpose. Special you seem to be, pup. This dream may say so, but with the goblins there I thought it was because of the poison. Both you and Oriana are lucky to escape from goblins. Oriana was attacked by goblins? And when was this? Long ago. Remember, pup, these dreams may come again. Pay attention to them. They are messages. I want to learn about magic. Have not you been learning with Bowden, pup? I seem to be hearing about a sword. Oh, that, well, you know Abrakin, he overreacts, and... Hush, pup, he does not so much. He cares for you and wants to see you responsible. Well, if I ever cure this poison... In fact, when I heard you were poisoned, I rushed to my books. I thought a spell would be obvious and easy to teach. Hours later, I'd been through every source I know, as well as the Kingdom Library. And at this moment, I know hardly any more about you than I did when I started. Then Oriana was wrong. You can't help me at all? I'll try to find other books and help you. Until that time, take care not to be wounded. And study with a human teacher like Bowden or Rita, or one of the great wizards at the Talawak school. But, pup, I've answered many questions. I must be going. Now, Gina, I want to talk with you, but I'll be back. So indeed, we will be back. We're just going to go in and out of the door real quick, and she should still be here with more to say. Yes, indeed. And And I will drop a save before we do this, in fact, because we may only be able to ask one thing at a time. Hello, pup! Getting into closer to adventure, are we? Can you teach me magic? No, pup. Mirari may not teach to you. Why? Ah, there it is. Seeking the wrong master you are. Bowden is your teacher, human pup. Okay, so she won't teach us anything. What exactly is the difference between our magic and Mirari magic? Our magic is different from yours. All one, of course. You see magic in your tricks and words. Mirari see magic everywhere. Differences in mind. Mind is hard to change. Different small and large at the same time. Different same as you and I looking both at the same color. Different same as sun and moon. Aspects of sameness and difference. What do the Mirari know of true names? True name this, a fancy term for unity of spirit, pup. A state Mirari know in all times and all places. What we be born to, humans take in ceremony. Rift in all, that is comes when ceremony lost. Natural ways humans have ignored, like your dream. My dream is a natural way. It takes one who is open and receptive. Your rudeness disguises one who has talent. Yeah, well, my talent didn't save Kendall. Worry not, pup. The dream will be explained, short way or long way. And that's all she has to say to us. And I'll be back if I find anything else, guys. So hello everyone, going back through the library, I actually, with Godric, found an extra entry in here, and oddly one of them is missing on the other side, but I guess it might be random chance on which one you get as you pass through, but this one is called The Witch in the Woods, and we will read it here. And they say that on cold, foggy nights she can be heard in the forest singing a mournful song. Beware this siren song, my friends, for though she wears human skin, this is a creature of darkest sorcery. Not many believe me, but I swear 'tis true. I was hopelessly lost by the time the sun she was setting. I settled in to sleep out the night, but an awful moan awoke me. Must have been right around midnight. I looked up and she was pulling herself out of that tree, just peeling the bark off her like burnt skin. When she turned those red eyes on me, I ran for sure. I left my pack, my jug, everything. Lucky escape. I swear it's true. There is no trace, however, of any such witch. I sees her regular, fixed my dicky bladder she did. I got's no problem with her. The king would take action if there were such a threat. At this time there is no reason to believe. Many of the villagers visit a healer woman in the woods and report naught that is ill. The witch may be another entity entirely. Don't go in the woods. Close the book. Alright guys, so I'm just up here in the kitchens with Gabrian. This is right after I picked up Godric from the laboratory in the Wizard's Tower. I went upstairs and read the book, and then I went out here, talked to everybody that I could. Neither Brenna or Rita had anything to say. Rita was gone, actually, since we picked up Godric, because you can only have one or the other, you can't have both. And Sheridan was in the training room. I didn't talk to him yet. I figured I'd save him till next to last. Phelan was in the throne room. Didn't talk to him yet, obviously. And Traherne, who I stopped by on, was ready to give us all of our equipment for our party, but since we don't have Brenna in the party yet, I neglected to do that because we would miss out on a throwing knife that way. So I went to Gabrian. He has quite a few things for us to talk about, so let's go ahead and do that. Hello, Gabrian.
Hello, is it? Don't you mean to say goodbye? The king tells me you're leaving us. Something about a healer in Araman or Talawak or some such. It's all so sudden, isn't it? Leaving the castle right out of the blue. I can hardly believe you're going.
Well, I don't have any other choice, really. There's no healer for me here. Can I ask you something, Gabrian? Why am I so different from the other squires?
You're no different at all, Alaron, as we all have told you now how many times?
No, I don't mean that I'm an orphan. I understand about that. I meant... Why do I wound so easily?
Do you? I've never noticed that myself.
Oh, you haven't? Then why do you turn the knives aside every time I come in here? Why am I not allowed to pick up glass or chase the rats out of the yard? How come Traherne watches me so closely during training? Why does the smallest cut stay with me for days, or a bruise?
I don't know, all right? No one knows. You've been like that from the beginning. We're all different, you know. If Bowden couldn't stop it, how do you expect me to understand what it is?
That's why Phelan is sending me to Araman. That's why no one can cure me here.
What if it is? You're hard to heal, but he's fond of you, Alaron. Why should he risk trusting your cure to someone who doesn't really know? Now stop arguing with me and say goodbye. Come on.
I'll miss you all, Gabrian.
Just come back as quick as you can. We'll all be waiting. Be off, my boy, before I start to get upset.
I had a vision when I was in the forest.
You did not.
I'm telling you the truth, Gabrian. It was a terrible vision, but it was plain as day. I saw a face in the sky, an evil face.
Bah, you're just suggestible. All this talk about that prophecy.
What prophecy?
I don't know, I'm just a cook. Even to the wizards, Shamsuk's books have been closed. You must have overheard something about one thing or another. When the poison took hold, your imagination went to work on it. There was no face in the sky, you just embroidened things. Now stop arguing with me and say goodbye. Come on.
Did you know my parents?
Now that's a strange question at a time like this. Why think of your parents now?
No reason.
All I know about your parents is what I see in you.
Which is
you seem fairly ordinary. I assume your parents were fairly ordinary too.
Oh. I've just been wondering about them lately.
I never met them. I don't think anyone here did. Maybe someone in the forest would know.
What about those books in the library about the ambush on my village?
What are you doing in there? You're a squire, not a lawmaster. You know, a little information can be a very upsetting thing. It takes a while before you truly understand a thing. You've studied the beginnings of magic. I'm sure you know what I mean. Now, I want you to take care of yourself on the road. Eat well, and I'll plan a great feast for the day of your return.
Oh, really? How great?
Greater than even you can imagine. The greatest feast this castle has ever seen. So you see, you'd better hurry back while my offer's still good.
I'll be back before you've planned the menu.
Oh, be quiet. Go on now.
I think I've seen my old village.
Really? How interesting. I'm not sure I want to talk about that.
Why not?
You know, really, Alaron, the goblins are prowling, the knights come and go like birds. The whole castle is on alert. I must have 100 chores to do. Now stop arguing with me and say goodbye. Come on.
Do you think the king likes me?
Likes you? Why, he loves you. Does he like you? What a thing to ask. That man raised you from a baby.
Was Phelan different then? I mean, while he still had the queen.
Now look, Alaron, you mustn't talk about her, especially on the road. Bodacia is an issue our enemies have never forgotten. You're leaving, and I can't prevent the vicious lies you may happen to hear. But I will warn you that there are those who still blame Phelan, not only for the lady's death, but for the terrible unhappiness she felt while she was alive. Please don't bring her up in conversation, and if anyone asks you anything, remember that Bodacia is one topic best avoided.
Then what about that book in the library?
What are you doing in there? You're a squire, not a lawmaster. You know, a little information can be a very upsetting thing. It takes a while before you truly understand a thing. You've studied a bit of magic. I'm sure you know what I mean. Now I want you to take care of yourself on the road. Eat well, and I'll plan a great feast for you the day you return.
Oh, really? How great?
Greater than even you can imagine. The greatest feast this castle has ever seen. So you see, you'd better hurry back while my offer's still good.
I'll be back before you plan the menu.
Oh, be quiet. Go on now. Don't keep the King Tixman waiting.
I'm not even sure the king likes Sheridan.
Shush, I won't have talk like that in this kitchen. The poor boy's had enough disappointments, losing his mother in childbirth. How would you like to live with that? Really, Alaron, you're an orphan yourself. One would think you could show some more sympathy.
Hey guys, just about to leave the castle here finally and grab Brenna and then come back and talk to Traherne and get the stuff. Interesting little note about Sheridan. I don't know what I did to trigger this back before. I've already talked to him here for the last time, which is just in the barracks. I had that on camera originally. At some point during the LP, when I was redoing things, I had talked to someone, I don't remember who it was in the castle, that told me that Sheridan had been sending a lot of peasants out and farmers out into the woods to do something. I'm not sure what that was exactly, but there was a line of dialogues that you could lines of dialogue that you could pursue that kind of questioned about this, and I don't know who it was. I think it might have either been Brenna, it could have been Gabrian at some point, but this particular run-through, I didn't run into it again. I tried many different ways to get it to trigger, doing things in certain orders, racked my brain over it. I just can't find it again. It might have in fact just been a random peasant that I talked to in the castle, and it might have been random dialogue. I don't know, but I think it's worth to note for anyone who's like actually a lore buff and goes through this castle to find the history, try at different intervals to talk to Gabrian and maybe Brenna. I think it might have been either of those two. Could have also been Godric potentially, maybe Traherne. I don't know, but somebody talks about Sheridan sending farmers to the forest, and if you recall, I think it's the second time that you talk to Sheridan, you can ask him if he's seen, when was the last he saw Kendall, and he actually says, I've never met the man before. So that might be a way of catching Sheridan in a bit of a lie. Maybe he hasn't seen Kendall, but it's suspicious that he would be sending farmers out into the woods, and we don't know why that is, but that's just something I learned about. I don't quite know where I learned it. It was somewhere in this castle at some point in time. But I can tell you that it was after getting Abrakin, but before I got anybody else, before I talked to anybody else. So take that for what it is, and on your travails, maybe you'll run into that cutscene, and you can tell me all about it down here if you happen to remember. So I'm just here with Traherne again, and why don't we see what he has for Godric, since this is slightly different. I'm sure I can find something suitable for your party members, pardon the pun. Ah, for Abrakin I have set aside a special shield, one that befits the captain of the guard. Thank you, Weapon Master. I'm sure Abrakin will put it to good use. Godric is, well, let's just say I don't know him that well. I know he carries some potions. He might take this dagger as well. I'm sure Godric will be happy with it, sir. In Brenna's case, well, she's been eyeing these throwing knives. Thank you, Master Traherne. They're beautiful. Gina has also included some potions of healing. Be sure to use them wisely. I hope you'll thank her for me. Naturally. Now on your way and good luck. So you're ready to leave at last, so on your way and good luck. Alright, folks. So alright, guys, that finishes it up. I've went back and got everything. We're good to go on the road for getting to Araman, pretty much. We have a few things left to do in the town, but we're all caught up on both those saves, so I can take this save with Godric to Araman, dismiss Godric once we get there when we pick up the other party member without feeling bad that we killed off Rita, but I'm going to take Rita. We'll look at the journey on the way there with Rita. I have confidence that I'll be able to get there on both. I don't expect there to be any trouble. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed quite a lot of talking in those past two videos. We learned a lot about our character, though. We learned a lot about true names. Is a certain aspect of this particular fantasy, that a true name being something that every character has, but they don't know for fear of it being used by a malevolent force it gives power over the person if you know somebody else's true name, and that's a very central focal point to the story in Aidyn, is true names and such. Also, we learned that Alaron wounds quite easily, and we don't know why. We figure something must have happened during our naming ceremony when our village was attacked by goblins. Something went horribly wrong with our character that we are quite weak. And I think that's what the skull means underneath our portrait, that we are cursed or something of that nature, or plagued by an ailment, a disease, a poison, whatever it happens to be. So yeah, the true names, we learned a lot about some of the other characters like Shamsuck in the 4 schools of wizardry. You know, star, elemental, naming, and necromancy, obviously, and Shamsuck is the necromancer. We'll be seeing him in the future and learning what he's up to. I think that's about it. It's going really well so far. This took a really long time, and it's going to be a lot of editing in the future to get this down to a manageable length, but I feel like it was worth doing for the mere sake of chronicling Aidyn Chronicles for anybody who wants to learn about the lore in the future. I think a lot of channels are slipping away. There were a few Let's Plays that I used to watch that are no longer available from time to time. There was one who did a lot of experiments. I can't quite remember what his name was, but he put together a good product, if it can be called such. It's like nobody's paying for it, but it was something that was a wealth of knowledge, and it's gone. And I hope that my channel can serve to keep some of this lore on hand for anyone who wants to know about it. And like, this was a lot of time spent, I'm not gonna lie. I was wandering this castle back and forth between characters, between dialogue, just to see if anything else would trigger. Like, I spent a lot of time on that Sheridan business where I was trying to find the person who said he sent people out into the woods. I could not find that person. I tried my best, so I gave up. I found, I think, pretty much every other piece of dialogue in the castle, so I feel kind of good about that, because I never went to that trouble before in all my playthroughs. I might have run into a few pieces from time to time, but usually I'd only ever talk to Sheridan once, and I think, like, you know, the standard party members and the king once, and then I'd leave. So, we're all geared up. We're pretty much ready to go. Got all the same items. I equipped people a little bit differently. We have Trehearn's sword and the kite shield on Alaron on both saves, and I switched to the broadsword and the tower shield on Abrikin, because I think he, if anyone, can get around that poor base hit on the broadsword better than we can. I gave Godric a saber and leather armor. I'll probably do the same to Rita on the other save, depending on what the staff is. I haven't looked at it. Dagger on Brenna, rope on Brenna, leather armor. So everybody's pretty much equipped. We've got mostly the same things we had last time. We might have a few less spice, a few more gemstones, or a few less gemstones, a few more spice, whatever, vice versa. Haven't taught anybody Dispel Necro yet. We'll probably wait to do that until we know that that will be a success, because I'm not sure. I think there is a failure rate to learning spells in this game. I can't quite remember, but we'll certainly find out soon. And I'll probably save scum that, because I can't be bothered with that type of mechanics. It's a bit silly. Suddenly I can't learn a spell anymore because, I don't know, the parchment doesn't work? That makes sense. No. We'll make a beast tide armor and see what that's like. We could do that now, in fact. Let's do that now. I can't equip it. Of course I can't equip it. We want to use mechanic to make one. Beast tide. Armor successfully created. Let's go look at that. That's right there. So, Beast Hide is protection 2, dexterity -2. What is leather armor exactly? Because Beast Hide might be better than leather armor in that case, and then I'll make a whole bunch of them, because we'd have no reason not to. Oh, it's slightly worse than leather armor. Well, that's unfortunate, because, yeah, one more dexterity malice, well, that's no good. But oh well, so we know what it does. We have one now. That's one more item that we don't have to collect. And I'll probably be collecting every item in this game, as I usually do. I'm kind of OCD about that. But yeah, we got pretty much the same amount of gold, maybe a little less. But we're not going to have to worry about gold for much longer, because I realized something on Godric that I never did before. And this is going to be the file that we're keeping once we get to Airman. But in any case, Alchemist, as you can see here, if I click on it, yes, there are potions in here that are very valuable to shopkeepers, and to the point where if we make some of them, I think the Restore potion is pretty valuable. I think the stealth potions we know are very valuable. There might be a few other ones in here, but those two in particular are very valuable to merchants, and they don't cost much to make. Like, let's just look at this for a second. Requires 2 gemstones and 2 spices. That'll set us back maybe 40 gold, maybe 50 gold. This thing is worth, I think, something like 2,000 gold. So, I'm not gonna lie, I may exploit the hell out of that. I probably will, because that's a... You know, it's in the game, I shouldn't feel bad for it. They didn't catch it on the beta testing, I guess, but that's quite a money exploit early on, and you can make a lot of money with Godric that way that you couldn't on anybody else. I guess that's the one real downside. Maybe we won't do it. I'll have to see, because it's just... On the one hand, I want to collect all the items, and items can be real expensive. But on the other hand, I don't want the game to be too easy, considering it's an Iron Man run. I don't want to be... there's no real way to get God mode in this game. There's no real way to have amazing equipment and not take any damage whatsoever. That's more to do with spells, and that doesn't have much to do with gold. That's all experience, so... I don't know, it might be fine. I'll see. We'll see down the road, depending on how much things cost in Airman, but one thing we do have to get is somebody with the merchant skill, because otherwise we'll be taken for a ride on their gold. But really that won't be very valuable if we do happen to do that money exploit, but we will see how that goes. Other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully the regular scheduled programming, non-bonus content will be trickling in sometime during this week. I may take a day off because this was quite a grueling process. I almost lost my voice because of it. Doing the Gabrian voice was quite hard on my vocal cords, and I'm not used to talking at length, so... I guess this was just more of a little vlog, but maybe you'll all enjoy this, maybe not. I do quite a lot of talking in this particular LP, as you should know by now if you've watched up to this point, so I'm not going to be changing that. It will get better, though, I will say that, because there's... Aidyn's dialogue is very thick in the beginning. In the Castle Gwernia, there's a lot of different things that can be triggered, but as you go through the game and get to the other towns, things sort of happen more linearly, and you talk to people in an order, and that's the order, and there's nobody else. There's no faffing about, running back and forth between people. Things are easier. So, yeah, I'll be talking more about different beats in the story, like the thing with true names, which is a very important theme in this game, as we come across it, and we'll be coming across it quite a bit. And yeah, it's just there'll be things I'm going to be commenting on as we come across them, and maybe making a few recommendations here and there if you happen to like that type of fantasy and want more. But for now, I bid you all a good afternoon. You can hear the cicadas in the background, maybe, through my microphone, I'm not sure. But they are buzzing away. It's very sunny and warm here. I will see you all on the next episode of Aidyn Chronicles, the First Mage. Thank you all for joining and listening. Have a nice day.